Welcome, everyone, to Debatable Delaney, the show where we debate on feeling, not fact. My name is Delaney, and my mission is to destigmatize debating and bring laughter back to the art of debate. I'm here to teach you the tools of gaslighting, confusing, and lying in order to prove your points and to show you that you do not need research in order to win an argument. Today, I'm joined by my friend Parker, and we are going to be debating the top 5 New Year's resolutions. That's debatable. Now that's debatable. Well, it's the season of depression, which means it's time to start setting some goals.
Oh my gosh, this is when you're supposed to burrow in a cave.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, 2023.
New Year, new me, 2023. Are you a big New Year's resolutions guy?
Depends how bad the winter takes me out, I feel like.
I do feel like it comes at the perfect time when you hate yourself enough that you actually might want to make some changes.
Yeah, the holidays are like the best of times and the worst of times. They're just an absolute roller coaster.
Totally.
Like the summer, I feel like you know what you're getting. And you have so many things to kind of look forward to.
Yeah.
The holidays, there's like the highest of highs, but then just like the lowest of lows.
Truly. And the weather, you just have nothing going for you. And I do think that goals and New Year's resolutions can help bring you back to earth and ground you in something that can make you a better person or more productive. But I think most of them last like a month tops.
Yeah, I think a month might even be generous
Yeah.
for most people.
So many people doing dry January until yesterday when they were like, it's a Friday. What am I supposed to do? I think people can all agree that the most common New Year's resolutions are losing weight, drinking more water,
Skincare
routine. But we're here today to get a little bit more creative and give you our top 5 best New Year's resolutions to hopefully help inspire you, but more importantly, to beat each other. So I'm going to be drafting my top 5. Parker's going to be drafting his, and then you'll determine who won the draft.
I think it's going to be pretty easy.
Oh, I completely disagree. I'm feeling pretty confident. Yours might be more funny, but I don't take this as a joke, Parker. This is dead serious.
Mine are just entertaining.
Okay. Well, do you want to kick things off?
I'll kick things off.
Okay.
So steering away from the basic, I guess, dry January, for me, one of my New Year's resolution and one I think is a good one is getting better at creating craft cocktails.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, I figured I drink so many cocktails and it's always like what's in front of you. Okay, yeah, that sounds great. And I don't really know how to make them or what the base alcohol half the time of any of them is. I kind of just order whatever name seems exciting.
That's fun. So you're basically going to learn how to be a bartender.
Exactly. Yeah.
Are you going to take a course?
I don't think I'll take a course. I think I'll probably be more ad hoc kind of Google top 5, cocktails and then make them. So I'll get tools.
Okay.
So I'm the execution part of it is definitely getting tools. I'm going to get a shaker and different things like that. I already have a few.
Having this as a resolution is a bit of a stretch. Just Googling a couple recipes, buying a couple more ingredients.
What's wrong with me?
It's not a strong number 1 pick, I would say. Do you have any specific cocktails you're hoping to make?
Off the top of my head, Paper Plane, Gold Brush, Old Fashioned.
Love that.
Just different mixes with martinis, dirty martinis.
Yeah.
That's kind of that's going to be the start, the tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
Before you bash me for not having a more of a plan.
Love that. Okay. Yeah. A steep turn from what most people are doing, which is sober Jan. Okay. Well, then for my number 1 pick, I'm going to pick something actually very similar, but just way better. I'm going to pick learning to cook / only getting food delivery 1 day a week or 1 day a month, depending on how often you were getting it before. I think that this is the best number 1 pick of all time because it's so many goals in one. First of all, you're learning a new skill like yours. Second of all, you're going to lose weight if you're cooking because you're not ordering in, and it's obviously going to be healthier. 3, you're going to save money. So I think that's a 3-in-1 number one pick, best number one draft pick of all time.
No way. Well, first of all, that's so basic. That is not. You started
That's
this
my
podcast saying it
number
was going to be
one basic
creative,
one.
and that was the least creative. Like, oh, I'm going to cook more at home and
It's
not order in.
just too obvious not to say.
What I'm getting at here is if you're cooking your own meals, it does not mean you're going to lose weight because a lot of times it's even larger portion size than if you would order like a single meal. And I think there's going to just be more food
come
in front
on.
of you.
You don't actually believe that.
I 100% believe
When
that.
you order food from a restaurant, they're putting so much extra crap in it. They're putting extra butter, extra salt. You're going to lose so much weight if you cooked all your meals.
I have gained weight cooking my food or ordering it. Doesn't make a difference.
I feel like I could have like a ham sandwich for every meal and lose weight. Just because of
Wow.
the ingredients
Congrats on learning how to cook a ham sandwich. That's really you're riveting stuff here for the new year.
I'm starting really bad. So I have a lot to learn, which makes it a great resolution.
Okay. I could see that. So a couple things off that then. You're not going to get around this by doing some like what HelloFresh or like Blue Apron or one of those, right?
Yeah.
You're actually going to go out, look up recipes, buy the ingredients.
I think I'm going to become like a one sheet pan goddess. Like I can make anything in one sheet pan.
I will say one thing that is good about that resolution is I think now with like, TikTok and Instagram, there's so many food influencers.
Yeah.
And they really do put out what I think are like a lot of really good recipes and really kind of
Totally.
unique recipes.
Totally.
Which are different than kind of what you can, used to be able to find just off like quick Googles.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm excited for this journey for me and for all of you.
So you think that's the top resolution and you're going to try and stick to that, which I don't think you will be able to, only ordering in once a week. No shot you're doing that.
Okay, hit me with your number 2.
My number 2 in the New Year's resolution draft is to become a better father. To my plants. They've had a really rough go of it. I've been traveling a lot and kind of back and forth. And over the holidays, I was gone for about a month, and I came back, and I think only my cactus is left.
Oh, no.
So I'm kind of down.
Are you starting from scratch?
They're like my babies. Yeah. I killed my children.
Are you throwing them away?
But I have a lot of succulents.
Succulents are the way to go.
Yeah.
Very low maintenance.
I had rosemary. I probably have 18 different plants.
Wow, and how many are living?
Like 6 now.
Okay.
6.
I think what might be helpful for you is to get plants like rosemary where like you bear some fruit from it, because then you might be more likely to like keep it alive.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you should make all different cocktail herbs so that you can use it in your craft cocktails.
I think what I'm going to do is just get succulents that don't need as much sunlight.
Yeah, I think that's wise.
It really became like, at first it was the sunlight that kind of took a few down.
Yeah.
And I was like, the others were totally fine because I was there enough. I went out of town once and see, this is where I think I can become a better father. Like a key example right here is I went out of town once and I gave her my key so she could come in and water my plants.
Yeah.
The next 4 times I went out of town, I didn't give her the key. And anyway, my plants are doing
It's the
great.
thought that counts.
Yeah. So we're having a reset in 2023. I'm going to become a better father. I'm sticking to this. I'll send you some pics throughout the year.
Love that.
So this one is related to me.
Okay.
And I think it's a good one. I think it's a good step in me being able to care for things and take responsibility.
Yeah. Okay. For my number 2, this one's cheesy too. I'm starting off with cheesy ones, but
Yeah, you're not very creative.
should I do a more creative one for my number 2?
You can do whatever you want. Mine are just going to end up being better no matter what.
No, mine are going to be way better. Yours are way too specific.
You literally, I can tell by that laugh that you're already being defeated. These are great.
Okay.
This list, like there's gold. This phone right now, people would pay good money for this list.
Okay.
You're gonna get it right here in this podcast.
My number 2 is to go out once a month sober. And that means like I want to go out to bars, to a club, sober once a month, and not care if everyone else is drinking, and not like make it a big deal that I'm sober. But I just want to like prove to myself that I can still go out and have fun without drinking, without having to do like sober January.
Yeah, I like that one. I think that's good. I think that's really doable. I mean, you have to do 12 times.
Yeah.
Takes you about 4 or 5 hours.
But I don't remember. I like never go out sober. So it'll be a big change.
I don't have much experience.
Usually if I don't want to drink, like I don't go out.
Yeah. I think that's a good one. I think it could provide a lot of entertainment, seeing what people say when they're out and drinking, and you're just on such a different level. Depends who you're with. Some people I think would definitely judge you more than others.
Totally.
And not even like, it's not like a direct like judge. It's just more of like passive aggressive comments and
well,
things
people
like that.
just feel insecure when you tell them that you're not drinking, because they feel like you're like some sort of on moral high ground. Whereas it's not like I drink a fair amount. If I'm choosing not to drink one night, I don't think I'm better than anyone else. I'm just like choosing not to drink for that night, and I'm not judging anyone else for drinking. But I also think people feel some sort of judgment because, like you said, if they get really drunk and like say stuff and I remember everything completely, that might give them like a lot more anxiety.
That's couldn't have been more spot on with that.
Yeah.
I think the anxiety piece there, because it causes so much, drinking causes the
so
most
much anxiety. That's why I need to do this, because like I used to have such a blast at bat mitzvahs, at like weddings when I was young, and I wasn't drinking. I was just like having fun and dancing. I need to learn how to do that again so that I can go out and just have like 2 drinks and have fun, and then I don't have the worst anxiety ever the next morning thinking that everyone hates me.
100% agree. And it could go like 2 days. I think the anxiety piece goes longer than the hangover, like the dehydration
completely.
and like not feeling good and not like being lazy. I think that the anxiety, even makes you even lazier because you're so in your own head. I think that's a really good one, actually.
Thank you.
Okay. So my number 3 New Year's resolution is to pet more dogs.
Stop.
There's so many studies out there where like petting dogs, that's why they bring dogs in during like finals week when you're in college, so you can pet them. It totally like just boosts your happiness.
Then why wouldn't you just want to get a dog?
Well, that goes back to the responsibility thing that I'm trying to work on with my plant dad.
Okay, so eventually once your plant parenting gets up to par, you'll become a dog dad.
Yeah, getting a dog is very difficult. I travel. I can barely keep my plants alive. How am I going to keep a dog alive? I think dogs are honestly like great, and I love dogs. But with where I'm at right now, dogs are very expensive.
So what's your technique in making this New Year's resolution happen? Like, are you going to dog parks on your own? Are you?
Yeah.
You are.
That sounds so weird, doesn't
it? Don't you think you'll come across as a pervert?
A dog?
A dog pervert?
Well, I feel like San Francisco is an incredible place for this because I think there is a lot of dogs in general, and I feel like they're at the parks.
In every city, there's a lot of dogs.
Okay. Well, it's better than being in a suburb where there's one dog park.
Suburbs arguably will have more dogs.
Not as many. Yeah, but they're running around in people's yards. I can't just run. That would be creepy. Just, can I run into your yard and pet your dog? Where did this guy come from?
I also don't think you can just go to a dog park without a dog and like hang out.
Who said? I'm not going to be staying there for like an hour, but when I walk through, I live a block from like Lafayette Park. When I walk through Lafayette Park, I'm like, pet a couple dogs, and then
are you gonna ask for permission first?
You always have to ask for permission. You go to Alta Plaza, you pet a couple dogs. You go to Fort Mason, you pet a couple dogs. You go to Dolores Park, you pet a couple dogs. There's a million parks in the city. You go down to the Marina Green, you pet a couple dogs. Delaney, stop getting on me for being a weirdo when I just want to pet dogs and be happy.
Okay, dogs and babies I have the same issue with, where like I think I'm the least threatening person in the world. Like, I'm generally smiling. I look very unthreatening. Whenever I'm walking down the street and I see like a cute baby or a cute dog, like I'll be looking at the baby or the dog and smiling. And then I'll look back up at the owner and they'll look at me like I'm like trying to kidnap their baby. I'm like, sorry that I think your baby's cute. How am I supposed to act in this situation?
I've honestly never one time had that issue. I don't think once ever.
That's how bad my anxiety is. Someone just doesn't smile at me and I'm like, they think I'm going to kidnap their baby.
I'd be willing to say probably 90%, maybe more of the time, you're just way too in your own head on that.
Oh,
There's
1,000%.
There's absolutely no way that that's even close to what they're thinking. I think now you just think it, so every time you're in that situation, you're just like, oh.
I'm like, how can I act like I'm not going to kidnap this baby? What's the appropriate amount of time to look at a baby to not be creepy while you're walking past?
I mean, you take a look, you say cute kid, and then you like to yourself and you just keep walking.
When you look at a baby.
A second max, probably. This is just such a weird conversation.
When you're looking at a baby or a dog, do you always look back up at the owner before you pass? Or sometimes do you just look at the dog and continue on?
These are just things I've never thought about. Do you think about these? Or
Yeah, I'm here to expand your mind.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just I do it just a quick take.
Okay.
If it's like a really cute dog or a really cute kid, maybe you do a double take.
Wow, then they definitely think you're gonna kidnap that.
Just because you look back at someone, when I say look back, I don't mean like stare back. I just mean like, because when I'm walking, like I'm like seeing where I go. Like I'm like, oh, like kid. Then I'll be like, I'll kind of like veer back to it. Like I don't know.
Okay. Well, you're a creep. Moving on.
Jesus. You're really like just pulling things out of thin air over here. How did we go from me just wanting to pet more dogs to like staring at children? How does that escalate to that?
It's an easy connection. I don't see how you see that. Okay, my number 3 is going to be only saying love you when I mean it. And I think this is a really important one, mostly for girls. I think that we say love you way too easily. And like I say love you to all my girlfriends. Even if I met someone like last week, I say love you. And I don't say love you to any of my guy friends, even though I might love them more than some of my new girlfriends. And I think it's just like making the term love less important for me. And I want to bring back the importance of saying I love you and reserve it to only people that I love.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know.
Are you?
No. I think that's good.
I feel like most guys get really freaked out when I say love you. And like, I literally met a girl like 2 weeks ago and now we like get off the phone and I'm like, love you. And she's like, love you. If I talk to my guy friend that I've known for 13 years and I'm like, oh, love you, he'd be like really freaked out.
Yeah, I would say like with my really good girlfriends that like in college, I have like a group of like 12. There's like 7 girls and like 5 guys from college, and we lived in the same house.
Yeah. And
we've all been best friends for like 4 years now. And we all like say love you to each other.
Yeah.
I do think some people say it more than others.
Yeah.
And I think if you're around like people that, you know, if you meet someone and you say it the next week, it obviously, if you throw something around more nonchalant, it doesn't mean as much, right?
Totally. And it puts you in sticky situations because then you're more likely to just use love you as a way to say goodbye. Like I've said love you at the end of like a business call. Because it's awkward. You're like, bye. And then on a normal call, you're like, bye. Have a good day. Love you. And so on a work call, it's just muscle memory. And you're like, okay, bye. Have a nice day. And then sometimes love you slips out.
I'm just imagining you on a Hinge date and the guy's like, oh, maybe I'll give her a second date. And at the end, you hug goodbye. You're just like, love you.
I actually want to start doing that.
I don't know if that's I mean, maybe it's something different. Maybe it'll get them thinking, I bet.
Just say love you, say it back.
Might work, yeah. Be like, all right. This girl's kind of crazy. I like it.
I also think it's really funny. So my sister just got married in October.
Woo!
So I have a new brother-in-law who's amazing.
Let's go.
But it's really funny, like knowing when to say like love you to him.
I think you're in a win-win. It's your brother-in-law. If you say I love you, it's not going to backfire on you. I think if you have like a girlfriend or boyfriend and you haven't said like I love you and you've maybe been dating a couple months, then there's like a little more pressure because you're like, what if I say this? And
that's true.
And they just look at me. I think that's the worst. Like, you're in a fine position. I don't even know why you're nervous about it, to be honest. But if you're in like a kind of a newer relationship, you're like, oh wow, like you feel like I really love this person. Like this is who I like want to be with. Like I it's like you don't feel like that about everyone. I think that's
I've never felt like that. Okay.
Well, that was woo.
I think
all right,
that's probably,
should we move on?
That's probably why I'm trying this as a New Year's resolution, because like I want to be able to know when I'm actually in love.
I think you'll know.
We'll see.
I think you'll know.
Okay.
I wish the best for you.
Thank you so much.
I'll make a.
I would like to fall in love this year.
Yeah, the year 2023. There's good things on the horizon, I think.
Oh my God, TikTok has been telling me that my astrological sign of the Taurus is about to have like the most amazing year ever. So I'm going like balls to the wall with my goals. Like
I thought you were about to just say I'm going balls deep with my goals. The year of 2023, we're going balls deep with goals.
I think this is going to be like an incredible year.
I know you have big things, Delaney. I'm really excited for you. So for my fourth one is to hit a hole in one.
That was my goal last year, and I did it.
Wait, that was actually like you wrote that down?
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking
I wrote
cool.
it down as a joke. Like my New Year's resolution is to get a hole in one.
Oh, I'm absolutely not joking.
Oh yeah.
I'm
You're gonna get one.
I'm chasing it so hard.
It was the best feeling of my life.
Was it on like a par 3 course?
Yeah.
Okay.
How is that different?
It's not. We have more opportunities, but
yeah, you would have more opportunities, but
right.
it was like 130 yards.
Paint the situation here.
I used an 8-iron, and it was uphill, so it was like the perfect scenario where I hit it, and I thought it was a really good shot, but I couldn't see because it was uphill. And so my friend Grace and I looked at each other, and I was like, that could be like a hole in one, or it could be like 20 feet away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have
no idea.
And especially like, we're not pro golfers, right?
No.
So, and I know like how far I hit my clubs pretty well, but I could still, with the wind and stuff, like we're not measuring every little detail. So when it goes over the hill, you don't know where it is.
Totally. And I could see, it was a yellow ball, and I could see it like rolling towards the hole. And so I was like, that looked amazing. And she was like, okay, we need to get up there. And so we started walking, and she started running, and I was like, don't run, because like I had the worst week. It was actually the week that I quit my job. And I was like, don't run, because like if we run up there and it's like 20 feet away, then I'm going to be so destroyed. And so we were just like walking fast, and then we walked up, and it was in the hole.
What kind of golf ball did you use?
It was a yellow Titleist.
Where was this golf course?
It was at the Olympic Club.
It's a hole in ones.
Okay, I like that one, but I've already done it. So boring. Okay. Number 4 for me.
Are you going to go with another non-creative one?
Mine are actually good goals that you can do that teach good habits to make you change instead of just like walking 10,000 steps. By the way, if your goal is to walk 10,000 steps a day, I think you should reframe your mindset and actually make your goal to walk 3,650,000 steps in a year, because that sounds way cooler.
I'm going to walk 3.6 million.
People will be like blown away.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Okay, for my number 4, I'm going to go with break a world record. And it's very easy to do. You can choose one and then just choose to break it. But it's a great way to like put a stamp on the year, being like, I did this thing. It's kind of similar to your hole in one, where it's like 2023. That's the year that I had the longest kiss. Or that's the year I almost freeze to death in a polar bear plunge. Like, it just makes the year memorable.
Mm-hmm. Don't you have to pay a ton of money to like bring out like the Guinness people to when you're trying to break a world record?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you really got a good resolution here that you've done no research on at all or thought about it.
I'm inspiring the people. These aren't even my resolutions.
It's so vague. I'm going to break a world record. What? Like, what's the world record? Like, do you have even an area that you want to break the world record
My
in?
draft is actually good for these people because they can take what they're passionate about and make it more specific to them.
Okay, then if someone's doing like any sort of sport, they can try and do like the greatest feat in it, like hit a hole in one.
Yeah, they can. That's why mine is so much better, because it has the ability to be tailored towards the person.
We're not arguing what they want to do with theirs is the best. We're arguing what are the best.
We're arguing what the 5 best resolutions are.
Yes, and mine are way better than yours.
That's just so false.
How are yours better than mine?
Well, okay, I'm sorry. When we meet next year and I come back from New York and I'm like, oh, how was your year, Parker? And you're like, oh, I learned to make a Moscow Mule. And I'm like, cool, I broke a world record. I wonder what people think is cooler.
No, it's going to be sick when I go pet a dog onto the golf course, hit a hole-in-one, go after I hit the hole-in-one, buy everyone drinks. And those drinks that I buy, I'm going to make because I know how to make craft cocktails. Then I'm going to go home and I'm going to freaking water my plants and they're going to look beautiful.
Well,
and that's going to be 2023 in a nutshell. Boom.
I should be an inspiration to you because this year I pet dogs, I know how to make cocktails, and I made a hole-in-one. The only thing I haven't done was become a plant mom.
So are you really just trying to like big dick me here and say you're so much better than me?
Yeah.
I've had one of your cocktails.
Yeah, I'm not the best, but
your espresso martini, you forgot I remember you forgot a key ingredient in it.
Oh no, this is a great story.
So I don't believe that.
I had people over for SantaCon and I made espresso martinis. And I pre-gamed before, so I was tipsy by the time people arrived. People also arrived extremely late.
Are you using excuses for your cocktail, like missing key ingredients because you were tipsy?
Yeah, well, it'll become clear when I tell the story. But people were 2 hours late. I started making espresso martinis, and I drink cold brew. I don't drink coffee from my Nespresso machine very much, but I was using the Nespresso machine for the drinks. And so I was drunk, and I forgot that you have to put in a new pod every time. So I was making the espresso martinis, and it was basically just dirty water filtering down because I never put in new pods. So I was basically just giving people dirty water with vodka and Kahlua. But no one complained.
But she still makes. Yeah, because I was being nice because you invited me into your home. It was terrible. It was awful.
It is weird that no one said anything.
My 5th New Year's resolution in the 2023 draft is to have at least one happy cry.
Oh, I love that. That's hard because that's not something that you can push to accomplish. It's just I hope that I'm happy enough to cry one of these days.
So that's what we're going for.
What are you going to do to try to make that happen? Does it count if you're watching a movie? Or does it have to be a happy moment that brings you to tears?
I think a happy moment, not man, like The Lion King where you just, well, I guess it's not happy. No, I'm trying to think of what watching I don't know, sports films get me, but not actually. I don't really cry much.
Yeah.
So I think I do, but just rare, right? Yeah. So I think having a happy cry is a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think what will get me there is really just I have a list of 10 or 15 goals throughout 2023 that I have kind of written down.
Yeah.
And how I'm going to achieve them. And I think working towards those, I think if I'm able to get all those accomplished and maybe even push beyond some of them, I think that could
inspire tears.
Inspire some moments.
Okay. My number 5 New Year's resolution. This is something that I'm going to try to do, is I'm going to stop oversharing. And this is personal because I feel 2 years ago, I went to therapy and they told me I needed to be more vulnerable. And I feel that led myself to overshare way too much. And 2023 is going to be about becoming more mysterious.
Nice.
And I encourage everyone to do that.
Okay. Would you say more of I think being vulnerable is really important, but would you say you're oversharing? Does it cause you anxiety? Is there a reason you want to stop doing that?
Yeah, I think for multiple reasons. I think that first of all, vulnerability is so powerful, and similarly to only saying I love you when you mean it, I think only being vulnerable when you feel really comfortable is probably better than just oversharing to anyone who will listen. And I also think there's something with the law of attraction, just in terms of friends, coworkers, or lovers, having a little bit of mystery and having to work to find stuff out is also really nice. And in a world with social media and how everything is wide open and on display, it's kind of nice to have some mystery. So I want to bring mystery back to the digital age.
I like that. It's definitely in the dating world.
Yeah. You're like, that'll help you a lot, I think.
I think it will. Having that mystery I think it's always good, because people if they know everything about you, you kind of become boring.
Yeah.
It's just the truth.
Totally.
People can't deny it.
Totally.
It's how they think.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that like if you give someone all of you without asking for anything first, like it's kind of like, why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free, but with like emotional baggage.
What an analogy.
This podcast has been really inspiring.
Yeah. 2023.
I actually think both of our lists are really good. People that relate more to me will probably like my list better, and people that relate more to you will like your list better.
I will agree with you on that. I think there'll be a certain type of person.
Yeah. So there's something for everybody.
Yeah. You get a lot in this podcast.
You get a lot. Okay, let's do our honorable mentions.
Okay. My first honorable mention was running a half marathon.
Love that. And one of my consolation options was to never open a canned beverage unless I can say with 100% certainty that the last canned beverage I opened is empty. And I think this is really important because
that's good. That's good.
I think that not only is it good for hydration and waste, it's great for the environment. I feel like I could fill a swimming pool with all of the wounded soldiers from 2022, and it's time for me to tighten up the ship.
I like that one. Another one of my honorable mentions was to not get arrested.
Love that.
That one almost made the list.
Yeah, I would have liked that.
The original idea was don't get arrested more than once.
Okay.
But I figured maybe we just don't get arrested.
I think that's a good idea. Okay, another one of mine was become famous. I had this idea of how to become TikTok famous.
You just got to execute.
Well, the idea is to give your number to as many people as possible, because if you're in someone's contacts, your videos will show up on their page because it'll say from your contacts. So you just have to leak your number somewhere where a bunch of people will put you in their contacts, and then you'll become famous.
Seems really foolproof.
Seems reasonable.
My next honorable mention is to catch more waves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
I've surfed one time.
You only have to do it twice to reach that resolution.
I think I'm obsessed.
Okay, another one of my good ones, I actually like this one, I maybe should have used it, is give one compliment a day. That's so easy, doable, and it brings good cheer to everyone.
My last honorable mention to finish up here is to mix in a water.
That's a good one. Pace yourself.
I think everyone could just use more water in general. Great for the
I
skin.
agree.
Great for just bodily functions in general.
Totally.
Makes you feel better.
Okay, my last consolation prize is going to be to start sending playlists to friends and crushes, because in high school, I used to love getting burnt CDs or burning CDs for people.
Yeah.
And I think that music holds so many memories. And so if you start sending people playlists, when they hear that song, they'll think of you. And I think that's really nice.
I like that. That's something that I would put on my list.
Okay, well, that was our New Year's resolution draft. Thanks for joining, Parker.
Thanks for having me on. I'm going to miss you when you go to New York and leave us high and dry.
I'm going to miss you too. I'm excited to hear how all of your New Year's resolutions go. Hopefully you guys were inspired and got some ideas listening. So thanks so much for listening to our draft of the top New Year's resolutions. Please subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, and recommend this show to a friend that you think might enjoy it. So see you next week, guys.
2023.
Woo! I mean, that's debatable. Now that's debatable.